Greetings, all! It's another Sunday and another album rankings episode. For the last 2 weeks, people seem to like my topic of most underrated albums of a specific year. Last week it was 1984, the week before it was 1985, but this week it's the 10 most underrated rock and metal albums of 1983. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and feel free to check out past album ranking videos, as the link is in the description box. Time to go to work. At number 10, we begin with the 12th and final studio album from Irish hard rockers Thin Lizzy, with Thunder and Lightning. After 1981's Renegade, Snowy White was fired and replaced by future Whitesnake and Blue Murder Axeman John Sykes, and he provided a heavier sound and guitar tone that Thin Lizzy had on previous albums. A keyboard player named Darren Wharton provided a stronger influence to this underrated masterpiece. Since its release, it went silver in the UK and reached number 4 in the UK charts. And the standout tracks include Someday She's Gonna Hit Back, The Sun Goes Down, and Cold Sweat. Sadly, 3 years after this release, founding member Phil Lynott passed away. May he rest in peace. Next. Number 9 is the third release from Canadian rockers Helix, called No Rest for the Wicked. Not to be confused with the same album title from Ozzy's album 5 years later, though. This one was a gold record in the home country of Canada, and it features the standout track Heavy Metal Love. Also songs like Never Want to Lose You, and No Rest for the Wicked, and White Lace and Black Leather. It was also their major label debut for Capitol Records. Not bad from a band from Canada, right? At number 8, it's Motorhead's sixth record, Another Perfect Day. This was like the only record to feature Brian Robo Robertson on guitar, following the departure of Fast Eddie Clarke in 1982. This one was the most unique, albeit a misunderstood Motorhead albums ever. To one critic, he stated that it was the best sounding record, but tinkering with their legendary formula by adding a boogie woogie piano on a song like Rocket was going to piss off the die-hard Motorhead fans. And to a degree it did. But songs like Marching Off to War, I Got Mine, Shine, and the title track all stood out. The record reached the top 20 on the UK charts back in 1983. 40 years later on the UK rock and metal charts, it reached number 2. Now how the hell did that happen? Next, number 7 is Cool Kids, the second studio effort from Kix, a band out of Baltimore, Maryland, USA. Did you know that Brad Drivens of Wrathchild America and Souls at Zero played guitar on this one? It's the only Kix album to feature him on second guitar behind Brian Damage Forsyth. Cool Kids was slightly more commercial than their self-titled debut released in 1981. It reached 177 on the Billboard album charts and featured the standout tracks like Body Talk, Love Pollution, and of course, the title track, Cool Kids. Next, number 6 is See You in Hell, the debut release from British heavy metal act Grim Reaper. Originally released in 1983 on Ebony Records, in the UK, the US would not see this album until July of '84. The title track See You in Hell is still a great metal song, despite what the shitheads at VH1 think. They had the nerve to rank it 38 on the 40 most awesomely bad metal songs ever countdown. F to them. It reached number 73 on the Billboard charts a year later, so Steve Grimmett and company must have done something right. Other than the title track, Wrath of the Ripper, and The Show Must Go On were standouts. By the way, rest in peace, Steve Grimmett. Next, in 5th place is Balls to the Wall, the 5th studio release from German metal act Accept. This one was the only gold certified record they achieved in the US, and reached number 74 on the Billboard 200. The album's title track, Balls to the Wall, became Accept's signature song, and remains a heavy metal anthem some 4 decades later. Released in December of '83 in Europe, and then in the States in January of '84. Other standout tracks include London Leather Boys, Guardian of the Night, Love Child, and Winter Dreams. In our home country, the album reached number 59. I swear it should have reached higher on the German charts, since they are from Germany after all. Next. Number 4, Headhunter, the 7th studio record from Swiss rockers Krokus. This album reached number 25 on the Billboard 200 here in the States, which happened to be the highest charting album for them, plus achieving gold status, while the track Screaming in the Night remains the biggest hit of their long and illustrious career. The other songs that stood out were the title track, Eat the Rich, and the Bachman-Turner Overdrive cover of Stayed Awake All Night. Number 3 is Midnight Madness, the 2nd studio album from Night Ranger, released in October of 1983. This one was more commercially successful than Dawn Patrol, released a year earlier. It reached the top 15 on the Billboard 200 and went platinum. The biggest hit of their career was no doubt Sister Christian, While You Can Still Rock in America, and When You Close Your Eyes were the standout tracks. Much better and more polished than their debut. Next, number 2, Born Again, the 11th studio record from Black Sabbath. The album received mixed reviews mainly due to its weird production, plus add the fact that this is the only Sabbath release to feature Ian Gillan of Deep Purple on lead vocals. It reached number 4 in the UK, number 39 in the US, and featured the standout tracks Zero the Hero, Disturbing the Priest, Trash, and Digital Bitch. I had listened to these songs recently for the first time and I was like, wow, really? A very underrated Sabbath album indeed. And finally, number 1, Merciful Fate's Melissa. This album has been identified as one of the earliest examples of extreme metal, and is often considered to be the major influence on the then developing following genres: thrash metal, black metal, and death metal. The songs that stood out were Satan's Fall, the epic, Curse of the Pharaohs, Black Funeral, and the controversial Into the Coven. In 2017, Rolling Stone ranked Melissa as number 17 on their list of 100 greatest metal albums of all time. So I started out this top 10 list with Thin Lizzy and ended up with Merciful Fate, led by the macabre master of metal himself, King Diamond. It should be noted, though, the song Into the Coven was placed in the PMRC's Filthy 15 that nobody these days could give a pig's fat ass about. But in any event, I thought these 10 albums were really criminally underrated in the year 1983. So that does it for this week's album rankings episode. Until next time, adios.
No.